Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'm doing another interview for you. Tonight I'm going to be interviewing about a guy called Michael Leavy. He is responsible for this movie behind me, Abnormal Attraction. So many other films as well. Part of the production team for Fuzz on the Lens. So we're going to get this interview started. So sit back, relax, and let me ask all the questions. Hello, how are we doing?
How are you?
Good, thanks. You?
Thank you for having me, man. It's nice to finally be able to talk in person.
Yeah, exactly. No more messenger.
This is easier, though. It's nicer.
How have you been anyway?
Good, man. I mean, it's, it was a little bleak for a while where, everyone kind of had to go into hibernation. And
Yeah.
for us, it was welcoming in a way. You got to try to look at things the best you can because we were able to get a lot of things accomplished that we were just too busy, that we weren't able to do because of our schedule. And then having a little bit of a break was nice. So we tried to take advantage of that. So you try to find the bright spot and things. But I'm glad that we're, kind of hitting the ground running again, getting back into really getting out and working and stuff. So it seems like things are calming down and coming to a little bit of a normalcy, which is nice as well.
Yeah.
How about you guys? How you guys doing out there?
Yeah, we're kind of getting back to normal. My kids have all gone back to school now, so.
Good. Yeah, my wife's a teacher, and she's a speech therapist, and today's their first day back. So we're going to see how that goes. Students aren't in yet until, I think, 2 weeks, but they're, kind of catching up and putting in certain things and getting certain things in order and putting things in place. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. My youngest went back yesterday, so it's all new to them. She's only young, and all the kids are kind of finding it a little bit difficult with the new routine, and it's a bit. But they'll get there. We'll all get there. It's just change that we've all got to get used to, really.
Exactly. I mean, listen, you can't stop living and you can't stop, moving forward. So it's just you adapt, you change, you adjust, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
But during the lockdown, you guys had an opportunity to be involved in a movie called The Dark Offering.
Yes. Yep. So that was one of the things we were lucky enough to do. A buddy of mine, Marcus Slabine, and his wife, Liz, really took advantage of being creative, that way during the lockdown. And they kind of come to me and my brother, Jason, and, we've worked with them on a few different projects. And they came to us and said, we want to make this short at first. It was, we'll shoot it during lockdown. We'll keep creative and it'll keep our mind off of everything. And would you be interested? We have a role for both of you. And I said, yeah, absolutely. All of a sudden, it went from a short to a feature in like a day. He was like, we're doing a feature. And I'm like, whoa. But it makes sense, capitalize on it. Yeah. And it was shot through video messenger, kind of like this. And we did a bunch of rehearsals, a bunch of script reads. And then it was definitely an interesting experience. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was cool to get to do the virtual thing. It was nice just to create something that was made during the pandemic, but wasn't about the pandemic, and I think that was what was cool about that experience. And they're editing it now, and hopefully it'll find a home soon and be able to be released and everybody can check it out, hopefully soon.
I've been keeping an eye on it, making sure I've not missed the release date or anything.
Yeah, yes. I hear it's coming along great. I've seen some of it. Very little snippet Marcus has showed me. It looks fantastic. I mean, he's working really hard on it. And, for now, it's the new way to create. It's the safe way to create, but, and they capitalized on it. I commend them for that.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to be one to look at. But you can't give away anything from the movie of anything, or is that top secret? Or
I don't want to get in trouble, but I can say that it definitely involves like a virtual group chat where a dark entity kind of infiltrates it.
Yeah. And
it's kind of interesting how it plays out. And I play Professor Peter Vincent Jr. I'm a demonologist. And that was interesting to play. But for me, it's like when it's very exploitative kind of dialogue, it's very hard for me to memorize that kind of stuff because there's so much information you have to remember, and you have to get it right because you're the one that's supplying the narrative of the film. And so that was really interesting. That I mean, I remember when Marcus first showed me, I said, "All right, you know, how's the line? It's not too crazy." It was just paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of just history and just how this all works and what they have to do to maybe fix it. And it was crazy, but it was fun. It was a challenge, but it was a welcome challenge for sure.
Yeah, because Fuzz on the Lens, like, you've got quite a lot going on at the moment. Like considering everything that's happening, like you know, you've the Terrifier 2. You know, you've had the Dark Offerings. You've been promoting your movie, Abnormal Attraction.
Yeah, I love the poster behind you. I'm glad it got there.
Yeah,
That's Terrifier. I love the hat.
Part of place that is. That doesn't go anywhere.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, we were very fortunate. And that's part of what I was saying earlier, that it was like a little bit of a welcomed break because we were able to focus on some things that we really wanted to get going, like the relaunch of our newly designed website and our merchandise store. Like, this is something that we've been trying to put together for quite some time, but we've been so busy with Terrifier 2 specifically. And then obviously Abnormal Attraction before that. And so it kept getting put on the back burner. And then also the launch of our Patreon page, which is something we've been wanting to do for a few years now. And it was just, you never had time to do it because it was like, okay, what job are we doing? What commercial are we shooting? What music video are we doing? What movie are we putting together and working on? Because in the last couple of years, we've been traveling a lot between doing Abnormal Attraction, Terrifier 2, Penance Lane, which also just got released. We shot that down in Georgia. So it just kept going. So a lot of those side projects that we always wanted to do kind of got, put on the back burner. So during quarantine and during this pandemic, we were able to focus a little more on that, as well as getting some future projects in order that, now are really moving ahead nicely. And we're getting ready to shoot another feature film early in the new year of 2021. And this one's a fantastic one. We got some great names attached to it. It's another horror one because we're sticking with that market right now. Yeah. But as you know, we love comedy too. So we'll return to that at some point. And we want to try some dramatic stuff and some action stuff along the way too. But the Patreon, just to sidestep a little, is giving us some time to create shorts again, because we really enjoyed doing that for so many years and we weren't able to because we had to focus on corporate jobs. You have to make a living, and when you make shorts, there's not really any money that comes of that. It's just being creative. And when you're making films, it takes so long for the process, for it to come out, for everyone to see it, to hopefully make a return on it, that, they're far and few between. So you can't really always be creative with those because you have to make a living. So with the Patreon now, we're very fortunate enough that we're able to get back into some of that stuff because we're able to, take care of those, costs of running a company, so we can still create. So it's been a blessing in disguise, I guess, for us.
How is it going with the Patreons and stuff? Because I've seen the website, but I wanted to ask you, is because you offer quite a lot, to from a small amount of money all the way up.
Yeah, we really try to give what we can, out of the experience of joining our Patreon to anyone who comes on board and becomes a subscriber, because that's really what it's all about for us. Is we want to make sure that our fans are really engaged and they feel like they're getting their money's worth. If they're entrusting in us to give us even as low as $1 a month, that's still $1 a month, and that's a lot of money. It adds up. So we wanted to make sure that we covered all grounds and made them really feel like they were getting something out of it. So far, it's been going pretty well. There's certain tiers is once we hit each tier, then we're able to do something more for our audiences and our subscribers. The next step now we're just approaching is when we hit $500 a month, which we're almost there now, we're launching our podcast. We actually just renovated an entire space into a brand new Fuzz on the Lens podcast studio. It's almost done. My business partner, Steve DeLaSalle, has been, spearheading that, and he's been working on that a lot. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully, by early October, we should hit that goal and be able to put the podcast in motion. It'll be fun. We'll do interviews. We can have you on like this, and it could be we want to have not only, interesting people in the film world or the entertainment world. We also want to have regular people and fans and movie reviewers and even local businesses here. And, we kind of want to make it a really cool experience and just talk about really anything that's popular at the moment.
Yeah.
And have a little comedy, have a little humor, have a little entertainment to it. So that's our next thing that we're going to be doing in regards to the Patreon. But then we also offer discounts to anybody who subscribes to any merchandise or any autographs, you know, if they want a poster from Terrifier or Abnormal Attraction or whatever, hats, shirts, whatever, we offer discounts. And then depending on the tier too, we send free merchandise to our fans too throughout the year. So I think it's definitely worth it.
Mainly for people in the US at the minute, or is it going to be globally eventually, hopefully?
Yeah, no, we want it globally and eventually. That's the whole plan, obviously, because we're not, I mean, obviously, look, we have fans across the pond, right? So, and that's what we want to do. We want to expand our business. We want to grow our business because we're here to entertain everyone. You know, we really want to, we think Fuzz on the Lens is something that can really kind of cross the borders and cross over everywhere, where people can just have a good time, whether it's being scared in a horror movie or it's laughing from a comedy. We feel that we have a lot to offer the world, and we want to just make people smile and say, I was entertained, it was worth my time.
You'll get there, because like I said, like I've seen most of the stuff you've produced or written or been in, and they're fantastic. The movie's fantastic. Penance Lane, absolutely love Penance Lane. It's a great film, terrifying movie. Abnormal Attraction, like I said, you got Malcolm McDowell dressed as the bogeyman hiding under a bed. You know, that to me, that was just comedy genius. Like,
thank you. He was a lot of fun. He got the script immediately. You know, he knew what we were doing with it, and he got the humor. And listen, Abnormal Attraction isn't going to be for everyone, obviously. It's a very niche kind of film. But I think there is something for everyone in it. That's the thing, is you might not like the whole thing, you know, but I think that there is something for everyone in the film, and we tried to make sure that we did that. But Malcolm got what we were doing. He understood the themes underneath it all. He understood the humor, though, that was there, and how relevant it is today. You know, what's funny is we had written in there before, there's a line about President Trump, and it's the monster President Trump, and that was before President Trump even was a candidate when we wrote that.
really?
You know, something that we had touched upon, and we touched upon some of the things that are even going on now. I'm saying, oh man, I wish we didn't predict that, you know, with the segregation, and, you know, we do it in a fun way with monsters and humans and riots and things, and now that's kind of happening here a little bit. So we kind of touched upon those things years before it was ever even happening.
Because you had a real, like the cast you had, and it was a really big cast, wasn't it? Like
Yeah, we had in that movie, we had, I think it was like 62 people that were in the cast, but all of them had really good screen time, which is unheard of when you're making a movie, because you're afraid of having connectability, right? And being able to connect with a character, because there's just so many. Yeah. But we were very fortunate that we had great talented actors that really brought something unique to each of their roles. I also think that the script helped aid that too, where, you know, you were able to connect with people even if they were only on screen for a minimal amount of time, especially someone like Bernie, who's played by Tyler Mane. Yeah. His performance, also just some of the character traits and some of the things that were in the script, people were able to connect to him. You know, he's not in the movie that much, but he's one of the most memorable people in the film, and one of the most memorable monsters in the film. And so that has a lot to do with all those things kind of just working right. And no one gets confused about which character is which. But that always bothers me when I watch films, and like every character is the same. You don't know who you're rooting for. You don't know who you're going against. Is this character the same person that I just saw 5 minutes ago? It's like, because it's just a mishmash of, they're too blended. But Abnormal Attraction has a lot of colorful characters that all stand out, one more than the next. And I think that they're all relatable in their own ways.
Yeah, definitely. What was I going to touch on next? It was, because, like I said, where, because you've had so much going on and everything like that, but I want to go back to the beginning kind of thing. Like, where did it all start for you guys, and how did you start it up? Like
now,
on the lens itself.
Are you talking about Abnormal Attraction or Fuzz on the Lens in general?
Fuzz on the Lens in general.
Cool. Okay. So I always knew as a kid, when I was literally like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, in that range, really early development, that there was something about movies that I really was attracted to. And I was really into, where I used to watch the scenes and then act them out and mimic them and mock them. And then I got into theater as a kid. And then I remember stealing my mom's camera and with my brothers and running around and making little home movies and things. And so it kind of started there for me. And my brother Jason was a part of my company. And as we kind of grown, we started to look into, okay, how do you write a story? How do you edit? You know, how do you, you know, it was always, how do you make it feel like a movie? That was about, how does it look like a movie? How does it feel like a movie? And then when we went to high school, I met my other business partner. We kind of joined forces, Steve Delasala, and he had a similar interest, but he was more on the end of photography. He really liked images and he really liked lighting. And so it kind of meshed pretty nicely that he was, you know, ended up becoming a DP and he took that route. So believe it or not, we all went to college together. And Jason went for communications. I went for television and film with a minor in business. And Steve went for marketing and finance. So the business part of it. And that's kind of where he got into it all. And then we just, one day was making this silly little film. And a buddy of ours, who's now an accountant, while he's still recording, was saying, there's a fuzz on this lens. We got to stop. There's a fuzz. And he's turning the camera over. He's blowing the lens. He's trying to clean the lens. And for like, I'm not even joking, for about 10, 15 minutes, we couldn't figure out how to get the fuzz off the lens. Why? We clean it like 100 times. And we're recording this whole thing. So we actually have the footage of this still in existence today. Lo and behold, it was smudge on the viewfinder, not fuzz on the lens. But it became a running joke for years, from high school all the way through college, up until, you know, before the company was named, just check for the fuzz on the lens, check for the fuzz on the lens. And then when it became time to, we need to name ourselves something, we're out making movies now and starting to do it professionally. What's our company going to, what are we going to be? How are we going to call ourselves? And fuzz on the lens just kind of, well, that's got to be it, right? I mean, it just was, it was following us. So then we formed the company, and from there we did a lot of short films. We did a lot of film competitions. And then eventually worked our way up to doing features and, you know, working on other people's features and collaborating, and then going into music videos and things like that, because we really want our company to be, I mean, this is striving big, but something like a Disney, something big where you can have your hand in a little bit of everything. And you're not just to one specific genre or one specific kind of movie. You know, we want to kind of cover all mediums too, whether it's pictures and videos and music and commercial and film and, you know, whatever. So that's really our motto, and that's kind of our business model, and that's kind of where we're looking and hoping to go. That was really the start of it.
You are all very talented, like I say, like with the movie you've done, The Abnormal Attraction, but I know you was all involved in the writing and everything like that, but is out of all, because I've seen some of your characters, all different sorts of characters, but is that all something you all put in, or is that from all of you, or is there one of you that's slightly more creative with the characters?
So I mean, it's really project dependent. It's a very collaborative process, I'll tell you that. So usually in the writing process, there's 5 of us that contribute, and there's me, Jason, Steve, and then Kyle Mullins and Robert Privatera, who are 2 guys that we joined forces with in the college days. And so we all have input on a lot of things within the script, whether it's characters, whether it's where the story's going, whether it's, you know, how we want something to come out, whatever. But everyone is creative in their own way as well, you know, because me and Jason come a little bit more from an improv background, and we started doing a lot of live comedy and things like that, whereas Robert Privatera originally had come from a stand-up background in comedy, and now he's really zeroed in on, you know, following the hero's journey for when you're writing a story. He really started honing his craft on, okay, these are unique themes, and you need to craft a story this way for it to be, you know, successful. And he really started zeroing in on those things, you know. But all of us really, if we have a character, if we have an idea, we're going to be very open and very verbal about it, to put it into the film if we really strongly believe it. And it becomes a kind of like a who's more passionate about something. You know, if you're more passionate about something than I am with a specific part of a story, then maybe you're right. Maybe you have something there because you really believe in it. If you're passive about it, it's like, oh, then this might not really be a good idea. And, you know, so you really got to weigh it out that way. But there's no right or wrong way, or really one same way that it's always done. It's always kind of different per project. But when we did the Patreon video, I don't know if you've seen the video, there's a lot of characters in that.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
And we all wanted to play a character that we felt we all could kind of bring to the table and make people laugh too. So they're all kind of different, but they're all kind of really bizarre too. Overall, we all kind of picked the people we felt we can do best and then try to work the story and their quirks around, you know, the Patreon video. But then there was also like where Jason would say, Mike, you got to do this. This would be really cool for this kind, you know, and it would kind of work the same way. Rob, you're there, but try something, you know. So it's very collaborative for us, and that's how we want to keep it, because you can get a lot done, but you have to be disciplined too, because again, there could be that thing where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and then it becomes just a mishmash of what the hell is this. Yeah. So you really have to have, and that's where I come in, or at least I try my best to, as a director, steer everyone in the same vision, in the same goal, in the same direction. You know, you can listen to a lot of people, you can listen to input, you'd be silly if you don't, but you also have to be smart enough to where you say, okay, that won't work. Because if you just take everything or you take nothing, you're really going to just do a disservice to yourself and the overall production.
Yeah. In the movie Abnormal Attraction, like Finbar's a very large character in the movie. Like, he's one of the big characters. Are we going to see anything more from Finbar?
We hope so. So sometimes you know you have something, you know, and sometimes it's just, well, we didn't know that was going to explode. Finbar, we knew was going to be a hit. We knew he was going to be what everyone talked about. Love him or hate him, he was going to be the, you know, topic of discussion. Finbar actually was originally developed years ago, where in a small little thing where Jason kind of was working him out and trying him out, and everyone was laughing. Everybody loved him. He didn't look as much as he looked in the film, you know. Similar though, believe it or not. And then over the years, he would just do that Finbar voice in anything we would do, and everyone would always laugh. So we really worked him into Abnormal Attractions, that this is the movie we can introduce him to the world. And thankfully, you know, it kind of worked out the way we want. So yes, we do want to have Finbar in its own spin-off things. You know, I guess we're kind of like Kevin Smith in a way, where there's like a Jay and Silent Bob universe, right? And all these characters kind of show up in different places. I find there's a Fuzz on the Lens universe that we're creating, and that there will be crossovers and there will be characters that can bleed in. And Finbar is definitely one of them that'll show up, whether it's in TV series or it's another film where he's got a cameo or something, because there's definitely something there that people enjoy, people like, and people are entertained and laugh. And he's someone we want to keep around for sure.
As you know, I'm coming over, fingers crossed.
Yes, March, right?
In March, yes. I'm coming for the whole 3 days.
Awesome. We'll be there. We're going to be there.
And one of the days I am actually considering coming as one of the Abnormal Attraction characters. So
listen, it would make our weekend.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
Sorted and fitted in the case. I shall be coming over, hopefully,
awesome. Can't wait.
As a slightly bigger version of Finbar.
Oh, that would be that would be amazing, and that would be something else, and that would be just, I've never seen anyone cosplay Finbar yet, and that would be something else. I'll tell you, it'd be a memorable moment, it'd be a first, and I guarantee you'll be all over our social media with it. So
yeah, definitely, that'd be
cool, man. I'm glad you liked the film, and did you see I don't remember in our discussions, did you see the special features and the Blu-ray and stuff? Have you checked that out yet or no?
I haven't seen it. You mentioned it, but I haven't had a chance to see them yet.
Okay, you got it. Whenever you get a chance, you got to check that out, because it kind of goes into how this whole craziness was created with the film, and we show some really cool behind-the-scenes stuff, whether it's with the actors, and it's just good to see for anybody who's into, you know, filmmaking and how movies are made, and especially on the independent level. We really try to give a lot to the people who end up seeing the Blu-ray. We wanted them to get, you know, something out of it for it.
I've seen a lot of I do watch a lot of your stuff on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we try to release some there.
the Halloween 60. Is it Halloween 6?
Yep.
Is that ever going to be a movie?
It won't be a movie.
Oh.
You know, it's just we used to do a lot of fan film stuff because it was, you know, a way to get your name out there. It was a way to really make a splash and do something, you know, fun and that we wanted to see in a certain franchise. So we made a Halloween fan film years ago called Halloween Awakening.
Yeah,
all of us are big Halloween fans. And but then when it came chance to do Halloween 60, it was like, you know, this kind of aligns with exactly who we are as a company, which is a lot of fun. Take something, spoof it, make it, you know, have great production value, make it have a big splash. And that thing turned out to be really great for us. You know, we released it and a lot of people enjoyed it. It made its way all the way through the people in the real Halloween franchise up to Malika Khan, who was talking to me about it. Apparently Jamie Lee Curtis had seen it. So there was a lot of people that really enjoyed it. That's what we wanted. You know, we weren't trying to, you know, make money off of it or anything. It was just solely to entertain everyone and to really do it for fans of Halloween as much as us. It was like our fun little quirky love letter to the franchise. I will say that when they drop the new trailer for Halloween Kills, we will be doing one for that.
really?
We will be doing that. We were hoping it was going to be this year. We were gearing up and getting ready for it. But sadly, due to COVID, everything was postponed to next year. But for sure, we will be doing more of that, you know, because again, it's just fits right in line with what we do and just entertaining. And that's just what we want to do and make people laugh.
So I'm a huge Halloween fan as well. It is one of my all-time favorite franchises. Like I grew up with that kind of era of horror movies, so I have seen the Halloween Awakening you've done as well. Again, I thought it was brilliant because you rolled it on. I think it was rolled on from the second movie, wasn't it? Like a roll on.
Yeah, it was a whole continuation. Yep, a roll through. Yep.
You made it look as if it was even dated to back then as well, and the acting style, and I just really enjoyed it. I even sat there the other night. I thought, you know, I might even do a review on it and just get it out there and show people.
Yeah.
I just thought it was brilliant. Yeah, and I get taken back by how talented you all are, and I mean, you yourself, you've actually been in quite a few films, as well as producing them at the same time. So you guys must be knackered at the end of the day some days. You know, you've got to have some pretty long days out there.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've done days that were almost 24 hours straight, and those are very tiring and exhausting. And I just remember specifically on Abnormal Attraction, we did one day at the end, which was really like 3 days straight through almost, where it was, we had to get this done in a specific location. It was like nap when you can, 2 hours, keep working. The actors were cycling in and rotating in. It was that whole fight sequence at the end and into the morning at the camp. So we never kept the other actors there, obviously, over what they were contracted to do, but we would stay, obviously. So it would be, we're working with these actors, they'd come in, then they'd leave, our day's still going. The other actors come in, they leave, our day's still going. And then on Terrifier 2, a lot of long overnights, a lot of long hours, but you know what, everyone's there and everyone wants to do it because they see the end goal.
Yeah.
And if you got the people that are in charge, the leaders in it with the team, everybody just is inspired and just wants to be a part of something great and wants to give it their all. And fortunate enough in both those films, my experience has been very positive with just camaraderie of the entire team.
Yeah, Dave did the same last week.
And that's a lot to do with, you know. There you went out a little bit. I didn't. Yeah, I see it. You had Dave on, right?
Yeah, he was talking. He said pretty much the same thing last week. He said how everybody was just, you know, rallying each other and motivating each other. And
yeah, I mean, you have to. It's not as, obviously not as severe as going into battle and war, but it's very similar in what it can do to your body and your mindset, where you get overexhausted and you're with a lot of people and it's just it's one for all. You know what I mean? All for one, and you're all trying together to get this thing done and in the can, and you got to motivate each other and keep each other's spirits up. And because it gets grueling. I have friends that aren't in the filmmaking business that sometimes want to visit because they think it's going to be a lot of fun. They say, making movies got to be awesome because I love watching movies. And then they come and they say, this is it? This is horrible. This is like torture making a movie. And then for some reason, we just keep on coming back to do it again. I don't know. We're crazy.
I did see on Facebook you've got these Terrifier 2 jackets that you gave out. Are these?
Yeah,
I knew there'd be one.
We gave these out as a gift to the cast and crew. Let me see if I could.
That's the one.
Am I spinning it right? There it is. I don't know why I can't like grab it right. There it is. So we gave these out to the cast and crew with their names on it. And what's cool about these jackets is they're actually reversible.
Yeah.
On the other side, they're Fuzz and the Lens jackets. Yeah, so we gave these out as a gift and as a thank you to the entire cast and crew, just to be a part of the production and, just our gratitude towards Damien and Phil and just everyone. So
are these something that are going to be available to buy soon, or?
We hope so. It's like replica ones. We hope so. We got to talk to Damien and Phil about that. But it's something we would like to do. And something that would be in the future, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, they're actually getting ready, I know, to do a lot of merchandising on a lot of Terrifier stuff. So they got some really cool stuff coming. Yes. But between that and then we have the slates that were used on set, which was cool. I don't have one here, but we gave actually the first one that we made for Damien to have.
Really?
Yeah. So we had a couple of slates done that were limited that we ended up offering to some people because what are we going to do with all these slates? So it's nice memorabilia for some fans to have. So we ended up, they're almost gone. But, we gave the first one to Damien for just thank you for even bringing us on this project and this great journey. So it's been great.
Will there be a lot at the convention? Because basically, being all the way over here.
Listen, at the convention, there's always some cool stuff, yes. And we always try to bring some awesome things that you might not necessarily get to buy or see. Damien also brings some really awesome stuff. I know he makes like little art Funkos and some stuff that you just can't get online. You just can't get anywhere. So the conventions are really a great spot, for not just what we're doing, but for what anybody that when you come across. Have you ever been to a horror convention?
No, not yet. No? So not only
a lot of fun.
Going to be my first horror convention.
You're going to love it. There's so much fun.
Yeah,
you get so much stuff.
I'll need to bring a spare suitcase, I think, just to fill it up with merchandise. But
yeah, no, listen. When I went to a couple of my first, I was just in awe of some of the great things that some of the great memorabilia and just different merchandise you can get. And again, like none of this stuff is on the internet. It's like it's either you get it there or you don't get it.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool things that you stumble across. Especially, I mean, now the internet's making it a little easier because some of these people are saying, oh, maybe I could sell, if I make 2 or 3, I can sell them on the internet. But some of them, there's only like one, and you find it there, and then that's that. So it's definitely a cool place to find some hidden gems.
Good. Right, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, Michael, because I know it's midday there, isn't it? So your day's still
1:30. What time is it there? 6:30?
6:30, yeah. So it will be time to feed the kids and get them settled. But I honestly cannot thank you enough for talking to me today.
Thank you. It's an honor, and I'm so happy to be able to finally do it in person.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad and happy that you're a fan of our work. And, just to have you as a supporter, that means a lot. We really appreciate all of our fans. And I think we have some really cool things coming down in the future between Terrifier 2 coming out and between a new film we're working on called Stream in the horror world that a lot of people are going to like, I hope. We've got some great names attached to it. We're hoping to make that a franchise. And we've got a lot of comedies getting ready to come out, some great things for Patreon. So we do it all for you guys, because you guys are what keeps us going. So I'm just happy that you're a fan and you found it.
I started doing these just for a bit of fun, because we were stuck in lockdown, and it was actually because of you and asking me to review this.
Isn't it crazy? And then look what it turned into.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like I keep pinching myself sometimes. You know, I'm like, am I really actually going to be talking to these people? I mean, I've been talking to Renee, Tyler's partner,
Oh
and
yeah, Renee Gibbons. Yep, yep.
and she's sorting out a date for me to have a chat with Tyler as well. So,
Oh, beautiful.
so for me,
That's great. Yeah, both of them we worked with them on Penance Lane, and then Renee and Tyler were both in Abnormal Attraction. She played Bella in The Meeting, and obviously we know
yeah,
Bernie. And you know what's funny with that is everyone I talk to that sees Abnormal Attraction and they can't believe how great Tyler did in a role like that. They
yeah,
rave about, and I'm so proud of him for that. And it was so different for him to take on, and he did such a great job playing that kind of lovable, quiet, gullible Bernie.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I personally think it's one of his best, if not his best role he's
Yeah,
ever.
because it was something that you don't see him doing. Like he's excellent. I'm a huge fan. It because I'm a wrestling fan as well. You know,
Yeah.
so I've watched him ever since he was doing the wrestling, all the way up to doing his movies. And like you said, when I was watching the film, I was like, "What the hell is he doing?" Like, it was
Yeah.
brilliant. And yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people said, "Holy," because sometimes it's scary for an actor to step out of the comfort zone that they've built and the image they built for himself. And he did a fantastic job. Where you see that, and you say, "Wow, Tyler Mane really can act. He has such range."
yeah, yeah,
He cannot just. He's great at the one thing, obviously, with the action and the tough guy, but he can, really venture out and be successful. So I was very happy and proud of what he did for us.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, like I said, because of you and asking me to review that, it pushed me to do more and get a bit
Thank
of
you.
confidence to ask for people to let me interview them. And it is just a hobby for me. And I
No,
honestly,
you're doing a great job, and this is what we need: more people like you that enjoy movies and just want to learn about them, talk about them, and get the message out there. Because you guys help us too, as filmmakers. That you drive us and you get our word out there too. Because that's really what this business is—a lot of word of mouth, and so it all helps. And you should definitely look into interviewing Damien. I would say
yes,
as well, director of Terrifier. He's a lot of fun to have on an interview. And if I'm not mistaken, he'll be drinking a glass of Jack.
really.
Yeah, he's fun. You might be able to get a spoiler or two out of him. I'm not sure, but it depends on the day.
I'm building up to it.
All right,
It's
I'll
getting
put a good word in.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would be great. But he is one hell of a talented man. Like
He is.
like I say, we was talking about him last week, and David even said he can see him becoming the next like Wes Craven, and and I agree.
He's
Every
very, very
day,
talented. He's a hard worker.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got, yeah. I mean, you guys working with him, with what you guys can do and what he can do, I genuinely cannot wait for the Terrifier 2 to come out. But I know it's been pushed back to the beginning of next year now, isn't it?
It looks like it. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know really. I don't even know if Damien fully knows because this pandemic kind of threw everything for a loop. But it's coming along. It's still moving. It hasn't really missed a beat in that aspect of being, edited and, the vision he wants it to be. So it's listen, in the end, it's going to be worth the wait. I'll tell you that much because it is. I was in Terrifier 1, but this blows Terrifier 1 out of the water. I'll tell you that right now.
There is a good reason why you're not in the second one, though, isn't there? It's like
Yeah, there is. There is. Actually, it's funny. Somebody had made these and sent them to me, which is so cool. It's my head. These are salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, brilliant!
You get some of the coolest things from our fans and people that just love the movie. So it's just an honor to even be a part of it in whatever capacity I am. So it's great.
You do, like I say, you do a lot of you do the movies, the advertising, the music videos. Do you do like? Is there any plans for like a series or anything? Do you do those sort of things?
Yeah, we're talking about it we're trying to develop a couple of different series. You know, right now, actually through our Patreon, we just started a web series called Publix, and it's very similar to The Office in its style with Steve Carell. That's something we'd eventually want to turn into some kind of show if we get enough tracking with it. But there's also more serious things we'd like to do, like Ozark and some of those shows. But again, it's a big undertaking, so it's, you know, you have to kind of prioritize what you're doing. You know, we're trying to get Terrifier 2 done fine, and we got Stream coming out great. We got 2 comedy films that are more mainstream comedy, buddy types of films that we're trying to get up and running. But again, that's what's on the agenda now. Something might happen tomorrow that's a great opportunity, and you got to jump on that.
Yeah.
So yes, we'd love to do TV shows. There are ideas, there are thoughts, there are things in the works. But again, it's just a matter of when it kind of falls into place with everything that's going on.
Yeah. You mentioned The Office with Steve Carell. Have you seen the UK one? Have you seen?
I haven't. I have and I haven't. Meaning I've seen some. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I know that's where it all started, which is great.
It was. I remember watching it, and I didn't realize what it was. I was flicking through the channels, and it was just on, and I was like, "What is this that I'm watching?" And then it twigged, and and now, like I said, it's made it to America, and you've got some other programs out there as well. The In-Betweeners.
Mm-hmm.
The UK one is, I don't know whether you've ever seen any of that.
I haven't, but I know. Listen, apparently we're taking a lot of stuff from you guys. Just,
No,
you know, slightly changing them.
It's like, what I was trying to get at is the 2 styles of comedy from over here to over there is it's very different in a similar kind of way, but it's so different. And I think that's why I enjoy it, because over here we get the same kind of comedy all the time, and it does get a little bit tedious, and it's a bit like, well, that's been done. But from you guys, it's like a fresh lease of life, and it's like, oh, that's nice, that's better. So yeah, but yeah, I honestly think like you guys are so talented, and I do wish all of you the best. And
thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. I'll let everybody. Obviously, I'll share this when this interview is done, and I'll relay it to the entire team. It's just an honor to talk to you, and I'm so happy that you're a fan. You're digging our work, and hopefully we'll keep making you proud and keep making great stuff for you to be entertained by.
And I'll be out there in March as long as I'm allowed out flight-wise.
I think you'll be all right. Things seem to be getting better now, and you know, at least definitely here in New York, things are much better. Things now in Florida and all over the place seem to be getting under control. So let's just keep hoping that it trends that way, and we're okay.
Yeah, excellent. Right, I will let you go, but thank you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers. See you later.
Enjoy your day.
And you. There we have it. That was the interview with Michael Leavy from Fuzz on the Lens. Like they all know out there, I'm at the light. I'm sorry, but the sun has come through. I tried to block it out, but it didn't work. Like they know, I'm a huge fan of all their work. I cannot wait to see what they've got coming out in the future. You guys need to check them out. Check out their Patreon page. Check out their movies. Like I said, you've got Abnormal Attraction behind me. You've got Penance Lane. You've got the Terrifier 2. Check out their YouTube channel, Fuzz on the Lens. Like I said, watch the Halloween 60. Watch everything they do, because these guys are so talented, and they're going to keep us entertained with movies for years to come, and they're going to make some massive blockbusters. Check it out, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again, Michael. Thank you. Bye.